Gentlemen. Next. Little moonlight pause. Thank you over there. Thank you. Thank you. Little grab your coat, little sunny side. little honeysuckle. Think about it, gentlemen. A touch of meditation, just a touch.
One time. Whatever a touch ends up being on.
I'm so pleased to welcome you all to the MCAD May Commencement Ceremony. I'm Sanjit Sethi, president of the Minneapolis College of Art and Design, and it is an honor to be celebrating this important event with all of you. I'm joining you from the unceded lands of Dakota and Anishinaabe people in Minnesota. Wherever you are located on traditional, ancestral, and contemporary lands of Indigenous people. You can find out more information about these lands at native-land.ca. We need to acknowledge that these places have a complex and layered history. We, as a community dedicated to creativity and innovation, need to stay committed to ongoing efforts to recognize, support, and advocate for American Indian nations and peoples. We must also acknowledge that bodies were stolen from their ancestral lands in Africa, uprooted from their culture, sold and used as chattel to build the infrastructure of this country. This country's present condition was based upon these intergenerational and genocidal traumas. This is a remarkable event. Here we are coming together without physically being able to come together. It is a testament to your resiliency as students and to the dedication of our faculty and staff that we are here now to celebrate all of your accomplishments. The community of MCAD doesn't exist in one single place. It exists in your living room in Wichita, Kansas, and your back porch in Santa Monica, California, and in your breakfast table in Duluth, Minnesota. The strength of MCAD is revealed in our ability to come together and to share this moment in a time to celebrate our remarkable graduating students. Our faculty have gone above and beyond to instruct, mentor, demonstrate, critique, encourage, guide, and support you during your time here, and to do this all in innovative and inspiring new ways. We are tremendously grateful to our faculty for all that you do, and especially during these past months. To the parents, partners, and spouses who have stood by and supported our graduating students, we applaud you. I would also like to thank the members of the MCAD staff, from the administrative assistants to the custodians to the studio coordinators who are dedicated to supporting you and your creative work. Through your efforts and those of your colleagues and peers, you leave MCAD as accomplished makers and scholars, as equity-minded problem solvers, as critical and conceptual thinkers, as inclusive, collaborative partners, as empathic listeners and creative storytellers, and most importantly, as engaged citizens within a global context. So here we are. Take a moment to think back to your first MCAD experience. Maybe it was your first critique with one of your professors, or the late night conversation with someone who would go on to become one of your closest friends, or that moment when you made a breakthrough on something you had been struggling with in your studio and has had a profound impact on your work. Over the years, I'm sure that the first MCAD moment has been layered with countless others. Fast forward to where you are now, and take a moment to ask yourself, what do you know now that you didn't know when you first arrived at MCAD? How has your understanding of the world around you and your own creative practice changed since that initial MCAD moment? And in what ways do you want to leave to change the world as you depart this remarkable institution? We are living through a moment that will define your work, your practice, your relationship, your philosophy, your everything for the years and decades ahead. This is not just about surviving the pandemic or witnessing and participating in the enormous racial reckoning that this country must confront, but goes to the very nature of what it means to be a creative, engaged citizen of the world. This global citizenship comes with both tremendous opportunities, but also significant responsibilities. The responsibility to be as creative as you possibly can be while caring for others. The responsibility is of exercising innovation in one hand and tremendous empathy on the other. It is my belief that the years you've had at MCAD have provided you with the perfect grounding to be creative global citizens. Joining me to celebrate the graduates are Greg Heineman, Chair of the Board of Trustees, and Robert Rancic, Vice President of Academic Affairs. Everyone, the summer and fall 2020 and spring 2021 candidates for Masters of Arts and Spring 2021 Masters of Fine Arts.
Upon recognition of the graduate faculty and president of the Minneapolis College of Art and Design, and as approved by the Board of Trustees, I am privileged to present to you the following candidates for the degree of Master of Arts and Master of Fine Arts.
The Board of Trustees, by the authority vested in it by the state of Minnesota, and upon recommendation of the graduate faculty and the president of the Minneapolis College of Art and Design, confers the degrees of Master of Arts and Master of Fine Arts with all the honors, rights, and responsibilities upon these candidates.
Jill Blazer, Graphic and Web Design. Catherine Brethheim, Graphic and Web Design. Annette Cliff, Graphic and Web Design. Molly Davis, Graphic and Web Design. Jessa Farkas, Graphic and Web Design. Austin Gullickson, Graphic and Web Design. Kelly Horrigan, Graphic and Web Design. Rachel Klimple, Graphic and Web Design. Kelsey Kuno, Graphic and Web Design. Madison Curvers, Graphic and Web Design. Stephen A. Lenius, Graphic and Web Design. Jake Manitz, Graphic and Web Design. Aaron McWilliams, Graphic and Web Design. Jenna D. Murphy, Graphic and Web Design. Sigrid Stensvold, Graphic and Web Design. Stuart Wainstock, Graphic and Web Design. Tiffany Wolf, Graphic and Web Design.
Ashley Lynn French, Sustainable Design. Stephanie Hebert, Sustainable Design. Tong Min Win, Sustainable Design. Annabelle Sin, Sustainable Design. Dawn Suter, Sustainable Design.
Kyle Bredane.
Trina Fernandez.
Alondra Marisol Garza.
Yao Jin.
Darren Schneibel.
Changru Shin.
Jocelyn Suzuka Figueroa.
Alejandro Chinyao Chong.
Congratulations to the Master of Arts and Master of Fine Arts graduates. I would like to introduce to you Trina Fernandez and Jocelyn Suzuka, who will speak on behalf of their graduating class.
Hello, I'm Jocelyn Suzuka. Thank you for giving us, the MFA class of 2021, this space to honor and celebrate our accomplishments.
I'm Trina Fernandez, and we would like to start off by saying a thank you to our partners who have supported us through grad school during what was already agreed to be a tough journey, only to have it become an amalgamation of even greater growth, strength, and connection.
We would also like to thank the MCAD community, the faculty for being our parents in a time when we weren't allowed to see ours,
the staff for being our friends when we weren't allowed to make new ones, and most importantly, our cohort for being everything that we needed in between.
These are the connections that sustained us, the networks that gave us the strength to uncover our voices. It is through these wonderful groups of people that we grew the perseverance to advocate not only for ourselves, but the people and communities we represent.
Naturally, the last year leading up to this moment has been tremendous. What we've lost feels like more than what we've gained, and the sadness, anger, grief, and fear we feel collectively is intoxicating. We are here in what could be dismissed as just another Zoom meeting, undergraduates and graduates, faculty and staff, to recognize the hard work we've all done, not only in the past year, but during this time when it feels like there is no room or cause for celebration. The truth we must acknowledge is that we will be graduating into the shadow of what was 2020. The difficulties we've overcome and the ones we face, not only as artists, but as individuals in a society marred by tragedy, and as a community still raw and reeling, has made us realize that as the world slowly returns back to normal, that normal isn't good enough for us anymore.
After today, we will do what we need to heal. We will rest, connect with loved ones, or create, for ourselves for once. We need to allow ourselves to recognize this pain of the past year. We must give time to hold grief tender for those no longer with us, and to create through this loss. Regardless of the form that it may take, we must continue to create. Our methods of making may have changed, and that's okay. When our lived experiences face such seismic shifts, it is only natural that we respond to these changes in different ways. We are not exempt to the currents of society, especially when the waves are crashing upon the shore. Just remember, our adaptability shows us that we will be okay. Through our time together, we have learned to weather the greatest tumults our oceans can dream of.
Through our craft this year, not only have we learned to be adaptable, but we have learned that we are worth taking up space. Each of us have experiences that are unique and worth sharing because each story is a voice that deserves and needs to be heard amongst the crowd.
Class of 2021, we have learned this year that we must advocate for and protect the places we hold dear. There is space for us, and the world has a need for us all. We've acquired valuable skills which we will take beyond here to make the world a richer place. Though our tools are varied, we will turn our pencils, our cameras, keyboards, brushes, and hands towards the task of making a valuable future for ourselves, the people we love, and the communities we call home.
The tried and true phrase, "we're all in this together," once a tagline used for our safety, has taken on new meaning as we reckon with our flawed institutions and the representation of our communities. We cannot and should not ever do this alone.
In our time together, we built networks of compassion, strength, and tenderness. We learned to support our peers, and we learned to ask for help when we need it. Humans are collaborative and communal beings. We absolutely need each other. The connections we have made here will continue beyond the physical space and the boundaries of our webcams.
Through our vulnerability and creativity, we can show the world how courageous we are. The community is only as strong as the individuals that carry it, and it's important for us as artists, as people, to continue asking questions, to view the world with a critical eye, and to never stop being hungry for a life worth more than normal.
This is the time for artists. This is the time for people who analyze, conceptualize, deconstruct, and rebuild. As this past year has transformed us as individuals, the world we are about to enter has transformed as well, and it so vitally needs the skills we have learned as people that create, despite whatever odds are thrown against us. Trina and I stand here because of the collective decision we have made as a class. This is how the MFA class of 2021 learned to push forward, together. As a cohort, we challenge each other to grow. We ensure that we are all represented in decisions both big and small, and though our practices differ wildly, we take the time to have in-depth conversations across disciplines. Individually, our practices have expanded to breadths we couldn't even imagine 2 years ago, because we knew that behind us, we had peers as deeply invested in our work as we ourselves were. Through this collaborative investment in creative pursuit, we have achieved something that is quite beautiful.
While this year has hardened us to the ideas of a better future, especially in the face of systemic racism, violence, and senseless killings at the hands of the people paid to protect, we must not allow that to stop us from dreaming, creating, and doing things that restore trust and hope. These scars will always be with us, and in them, a picture of the hard work, grief, pain, and solidarity that helped us get through. This will allow us to show a future generation of creatives the prospects of a future full of promise. Thank you for everything, class of 2021, for the space and for the support. It is an honor to be seen and heard amongst peers.
Everyone, the spring 2021 candidates for the Bachelors of Fine Arts and Bachelors of Science.
Upon recommendation of the faculty and president of the Minneapolis College of Art and Design, and as approved by the Board of Trustees, I am privileged to present to you the following candidates for the degrees of Bachelor of Fine Arts and Bachelor of Science.
The Board of Trustees, by the authority vested in it by the state of Minnesota, and upon recommendation of the faculty and the president of the Minneapolis College of Art and Design, confers the degrees of Bachelor of Fine Arts and Bachelor of Science, with all the honors, rights, and responsibilities upon these candidates.
Carly I. Adams, illustration.
Christian Aguilar, animation.
Ruth Backham, illustration.
Kevin Basutro Gallardo, comic art.
Haru, comic art.
Scout Bennett, illustration.
Lily Berg, animation.
Emily Biggest, drawing and painting.
Penn, comic art.
Claire Boonstra, graphic design.
Emily Jane Carlson, animation.
Anna Casey, furniture design.
Grace Clark, animation.
Maria Klein, web and multimedia environments.
Greer Kaufman, illustration. Blake Dahlquist, graphic design.
Megan Damon, print paper book.
Cam Darby, animation.
Clara Dart, illustration.
Tina Davis, animation.
Beta DeFlorian, graphic design.
Braden Doctorman, comic art.
Marcus C. Escobar, illustration.
Cass Fennell, drawing and painting.
Kira Fennell, drawing and painting.
Luis Felipe Garcia Villanueva, graphic design. Rosa Gabriela Gastelum, graphic design.
Isabel Gloss, photography.
Rachel Gore, drawing and painting.
Olivia Green, illustration.
Alana Gripney Osland, illustration.
Taylor Guntharp, animation. Jacqueline Harris, animation.
Hannah Rose Healy, comic art.
Danielle Christina Hill, illustration.
Grover Hogan, Fine Art Studio. Olivia Jenkins, Fine Art Studio.
Oliver Johnson, furniture design.
Olivia Johnson, print paper book.
Amanda Johnston, animation.
Ayana Klein, illustration.
Mal Lazzarini, comic art.
Anna Lentz, animation.
Sam Lesage, web and multimedia environment.
Lane Lincecum, print paper book.
Ruby Loretto, filmmaking.
Paulina Luo, comic art.
Aloysius Lyons, comic art.
Matthew Madrid, animation.
Kevin Martinez Garrido, drawing and painting.
Emily Meyercheck, animation.
Rachel McSherry, illustration.
Carla Mellett, animation.
Katrina Constance Mickelson, comic art.
Morgan Ashley Moen, illustration.
Roxana Montoya, comic art.
Elijah Morinville, drawing and painting.
Cass Massafin, animation.
Matt Mueller, animation.
Nora Murphy, comic art.
Kenzie Mastonin, illustration.
Andre Nelson, graphic design. Willem Nieborg, graphic design.
Kira Nygaard, photography.
Kai Page, photography.
Emmanuel Patterson, filmmaking.
Evelyn Peñas, animation.
Hannah Perez, animation.
Emin Pai, illustration.
Rylan Poldberg, photography.
Jacob Ray, illustration.
Alexandria Reams, illustration.
Tiana Joyce Reese Granados, animation.
Kara Ryson, drawing and painting.
Caleb Richardson, animation.
Duncan Richardson, drawing and painting.
Adam Rogers, sculpture.
Noah Rogers, animation.
Graylee Sabin, drawing and painting.
Jose Sanabria, animation.
Rebecca Lorraine Schultz, animation.
Bridget Spencer, animation.
Vivian Rose Bragg Steckline, illustration. Eleanor Strong, illustration.
Nicole Straczynski, illustration.
Preston Cease, animation.
Molly Sullivan, Fine Arts Studio.
Madeline Tyson, illustration.
Anne Tran, illustration.
Master Ryan, animation.
Kit Vermillion, sculpture.
Banks Wagner, illustration.
Cassidy Walker, photography.
Eli Wallenstein, print paper book.
Jory Walton, comic art.
Lily Wendt, illustration.
Sophia Wentling, animation.
Anastasia Sackfield, animation.
Aurora Wolf, illustration.
Otis Worthington, animation.
Manuel Zeglin, comic art.
Dee Zhao, furniture design.
Sam Ballas, entrepreneurial studies.
Katie Lynn Belden, entrepreneurial studies. Benjamin Jones, entrepreneurial studies.
Tamar Patterson, entrepreneurial studies.
Hannah Schulte, entrepreneurial studies.
Congratulations to the May 2021 Bachelor of Fine Arts and Bachelor of Science graduates. I would like to introduce Grover Hogan, who will speak on behalf of their graduating class.
So, I had a really hard time trying to write this speech. So, in my own true fashion, I will fill the awkward silence with a self-incriminating story. In freshman year, I was at a party hosted in a dorm room on a college campus I will not name, and being the unsupervised, obnoxious children we were, we had public safety called on us. Okay, this next part is pretty incriminating, so Mom, Dad, please forgive me. But when public safety knocked, we all admitted we should have been more respectful of quiet hours and dorm policies, and we accepted the consequences of our actions like responsible adults. The end. I'm just kidding. Everyone scattered and hid like cowards. I tried to get into one of the bedrooms, but everyone else was already in them. So they had locked the door, and as a result, I was stuck in the open just waiting to be caught like a fish in a barrel. All of a sudden, the bathroom door opened, and I was told to come in and hide in the bathtub. While the student who lived in the dorm talked to public safety with all the persuasion of a television lawyer, I tried to figure out who was in the bathtub with me hiding. Softly, the person who hid with me said, "Why are you mad at me?" And I realized it was a friend I was fighting with that week. I came to MCAD certain of everything. I would move 1,000 miles north, work my ass off, and head back to Texas with a degree, a driver's license, and maybe even a wedding ring. Now I only have one of those things. And with me standing here, you can probably guess which one. Unless that previous story or my debt at the bistro makes me leave here with nothing, then oops. My time here was not made important by the facilities or the classes. And while I learned invaluable skills and theories from some amazing underpaid teachers, a GPA and a learning curve did not impact my college experience as much as I thought it would. And I know this sounds like a cheesy platitude, but I sincerely mean this. The people I have met during my time here are irreplaceable, and I cherish them with my whole heart. This has been one of the hardest 4 years of my life, not because of curriculum or the papers or the deadlines or even the way my body feels after I eat Dave's chicken tenders, but because I, among many others here, were throttled through various stages of immense pain and change we could have never truly prepared for. And I wish I could say that despite everything we survived, but not all of us did. And I can't leave my career here confident in all of my past choices or certain of the future. And I know there are many here who are watching this pivotal point in their lives behind a screen who feel the same way as I do. Nevertheless, we are strong, and moreover, we are strong together. Previous generations have told us it's a dog-eat-dog world, and they made it that way. But it doesn't have to be that way anymore. There will be years, lifetimes even, of hardship and grief and weeping eyes and trembling breaths, but we have never gotten through those times by ourselves. Despite the petty drama and the competition our current system insists upon, we have always been better together. These 4 years, and this last one in particular, have shown me that a community is an unstoppable force, not a fleeting moment. And we must remember that, not just in times of tragedy, but also in times of rest. Even when the fires die down and the air falls still, we still must care for each other. And I'm so proud to come from a community that continues to show up and show out. Thank you all for the warm smiles and the harsh critiques, the shared lunches and the crowd funds, the protests and the bureaucratic meetings. Thank you for not taking it lying down and instead being unapologetic pains in the neck. This school and this city becomes better with each student and each neighbor who pushes to see it dismantled with love and rebuilt with care. I don't care if we're strangers or best friends, or if we have beef so tough it can't be cut. If things get bad, if oppressors and bigots and all the powers that be come after us, I will always let you hide in my bathtub. I will defend you like a television lawyer. I will be your neighbor. Thank you for being mine for 4 years and more. Thank you.
I've been fortunate to know Scoggin for well over 20 years, and during that time have been deeply impressed with her tenacity, spirit, and her desire to go ahead and connect with communities across the globe. Through her creative practice, she speaks about advocating for Indigenous voices, but not just Indigenous voices in a vacuum. She truly exemplifies this idea that we hold so dear at MCAD of creative cultural leadership. Scoggin makes art that addresses history, the future, and changes from her perspective as an urban Mohawk woman. Her early adoption of cyberspace as both a location and a medium for her practice has led her to produce groundbreaking projects such as Cyber Powwow and Time Traveler. Known for her machinimas, movies made from virtual environments, she also produces still images, textiles, and sculpture. Scoggin work is in the collections of the National Gallery of Canada and the Musée d'Art Contemporain de Montreal, among other institutions. She holds a BFA from Concordia University in Montreal, where she resides. Please join me in welcoming artist Scoggin.
Sego Sewagwego. Greetings, graduates of 2021. It is my honor to be asked to address you on the event of your commencement. I only wish I could see your beautiful faces. I am coming to you from my home in Tiohtià:ke, aka Montreal, an urban center built within the traditional territory of my people, the Kanien'kehá:ka. We belong to the Haudenosaunee, or Iroquois Confederacy. In case you don't know us, we're the ones whose great law of peace influenced the American Constitution. This is my first commencement address. It's going to look a bit like an artist talk, so that you can get an idea of what I do and decide if you like me enough to take the advice I plan to give you. Allow me to introduce you to my avatar, XOX. Hey. With her help, I have made a number of artworks that depict Indigenous people in the future, where I show us as not only present, but thriving. Through my practice, I investigate why I, and by extension, Ungwe-Humwe people in general, want to remain indigenous. What knowledges and values and other good stuff did our ancestors pass down that have caused us to successfully resist ongoing assimilation and attempted genocide? I imagine a world, ideally this one, where those values are adopted by the rest of society towards the greater goal of a just, sustainable, happy planet. Peace on Earth. Simple. Complicated. But we all need goals, right? I'd like to share with you an example of one of those Haudenosaunee practices that can be adopted by anyone. It is an oral tradition called the Undergraduate, known also as the Thanksgiving Address, and sometimes too as the words before all else, because it is said at the start of ceremonies, meetings, and school days. It is considered more a protocol than a prayer, and the speaker often personalizes it. Over 17 verses, as I have been taught, it gives thanks to all of the natural world, the water, the insects, the sun, the stars, and more, helping you to exercise that gratitude muscle. Do you know the song We Are the World? The 80s mega hit sung by a supergroup of musicians like Michael Jackson and Cyndi Lauper? Well, I heard that before they started recording, Quincy Jones, the producer and conductor, told all those famous pop stars, check your ego at the door. That's what I think the Undergraduate does. It prepares your mind for the mental work ahead of you by reminding you that you are part of a bigger picture, a community, an ecosystem, a planet, a solar system. My ancestors really knew how to set a tone. Here is a short version of the first verse in Ganyangeha, my mother's mother tongue. Agwego oska, andere watwe nuni ne unkoni gura, dano teotinu waradu ne ungwe sua. To gadi nayodu ne unkoni gura. And in English, the extended version, we gather our minds as one and remind ourselves that we, the people, have been given the responsibility to live in balance and harmony with one another and with all living things. We think of all the people who would have gathered together in person on this special day, but could not because of COVID-19. We think of all the people we have ever met and the ones we have not yet met. We remember that all of the people who live on every part of Mother Earth are connected, related, and bound together in the same circle of life. So, we bring our minds together as one and send our greetings, express our love, and give thanks for the people. And usually, if we were all together, we would say, all together, now our minds are one. A couple of years ago, I wondered what it would mean to say the words before all else in cyberspace. So, XOX and I made a machinima. Here are the next two verses.
Agwego oska, andere watwe nuni, ne unkwani gura, dano deu tine waradu, ne yunki nistaha, zi yuhunzade. To gadi nayodu, ne unkwani gura. Nous rassemblons nos esprits comme un pour saluer et remercier notre mère, la Terre. Maintenant, nos esprits ne font qu'un. We gather our minds together as one and greet and thank our Mother, the Earth. Now our minds are one. Agwego oska, andere watwe nuni, ne unkwani gura, dano deutine waradu, ne gane garonyu. To gazi nayodo ne unkwani gura. Nous rassemblons nos esprits comme un pour saluer et remercier les eaux. Maintenant, nos esprits ne font qu'un. We gather our minds together as one as we greet and thank the waters. Now our minds are one.
In 2017, I made a machinima called The Peacemaker Returns. It takes place in the year 3025. The people of Earth all live by the great law of peace. The protagonist, a Mohawk woman named Yodet Sa'an, is on a diplomatic mission to see if they can use the same ancient peacemaking techniques as our ancestors did to create an intergalactic confederacy of 5 alien nations. Peace is described as an evolving concept, going from the absence of war on to including justice for all, and finally adding the presence of love. I was given the opportunity to have 2 elements from the Peacemaker Returns made in real life. These 5 wampum belts of the future, and the longhouse of the future, where Yodet Sa'an and the diplomats meet the aliens. I found it incredibly powerful to see these things, which I'd only intended for cyberspace, become tangible. I felt as if I was experiencing the future in the present. A similar thing happened with my next project. Calico and Camouflage is a fashion collection of resistance wear that I designed for XOX and her avatar pals. You've probably seen our traditional ribbon shirts. They are made with calico patterned fabric, and maybe you noticed Indigenous people wearing camouflage at various demonstrations, like the Dakota Access Pipeline, Mauna Kea, and many others. My idea was simple: to make camouflage ribbon shirts and calico army pants. Then, with just a little encouragement, I made the collection in real life. Again, I experienced that exciting feeling of being able to bring about the future that I've been imagining now. I chose cyberspace as my medium and location because it was a place where I could build worlds that I want to live in, and, thanks to XOX, I could walk, fly, or teleport through them. I felt empowered. Seeing those elements from cyberspace realized physically made me feel a similar sense of empowerment. Maybe William Gibson's quote is correct. The future is already here, it's just not very evenly distributed. Plus, I think it is correct because you are here. You are the next generation, the actual future. And from all reports, you're pretty awesome. Your generation is accepting of others, no matter their skin color, sexual orientation, gender, ability, age, you know. You show your support and protest in the name of justice and against climate change. And you, specifically, MCAD graduates of 2021, make art. I thank you for taking on the formidable challenge of being an artist. Being an artist is hard work. You have to be brave enough to create something out of nothing, to have confidence in your ideas, and to risk failing in public. Being an artist is important. It can open up people's minds. It can help them to envision different ways of being. It can imagine and realize better worlds. I don't yet feel like I'm old enough to be called an elder, but I nonetheless have learned a few things along the way that I'd like to share with you. This is the advice part. You've probably heard this before, but make art that you are passionate about. Be sure to love the subject or the materials or the techniques or all of the above. That passion sustains you during the tough times, because there will be moments when you won't like what you are making, when you will lose faith in your idea or your execution or your ability or all of the above. This usually happens to me when I'm almost done, but still can't quite see the finish line. And when that happens, persevere. Finish it. You may still not like it, but you might. I usually do. And even if I don't, it's better to have a finished project than nothing to show for your hard work. Completion is something I struggle with. Starting a new project is so fun. I think most artists have an abundance of ideas. I usually have 1 or 2 before breakfast. The idea is the easy part. It's finishing it, that's the trick. Completion. It's my mantra. Another thing, do your research. Ask questions. After that, ask, is there anything else I should know? Ask for opinions. Honest opinions are precious and help you to know how your work is being perceived. They also help you to articulate the choices you've made. And even though making art is hard work, be grateful and gracious. Many people don't know what we do. Many people have jobs they don't love or even like. We are lucky. Speaking of luck, you might do all these things. You might do everything right, and still things go wrong. That's life. You will have both good and bad luck in your career. Be thankful for the good luck, and don't let the bad luck define or defeat you. Finally, I want to say a word about love. There is an elder from my community named Joe McGregor, who is often invited to speak at community events. He usually ends by saying, with that sweet Ganyangeha accent, "I love yous all." As a young woman, when I first heard that, I thought, how can he love me? He doesn't even know me. But now I believe I understand. Do you recall the first verse of the Undergraduate Tekwa? It gives thanks for Ungwe Su'a, the people. With our incredible potential, our messy emotions, our strength and frailty, our silliness and wisdom. Simple, complicated. I love yous all. Yawa.
In recognition of her remarkable accomplishments and service to the broader field, the MCAD Board of Trustees, by the authority vested in it by the state of Minnesota and the North Central Association of Colleges and Schools, confers the honorary degree of Doctor of Humane Letters with full rights, honors, and privileges upon Scoggin for embodying the ideals of creative cultural leadership.
Thank you so much, Sanjeet, and thank you to all of the MCAD community. I am thrilled and I am so very honored to receive this degree from you. Miawagoa.
I truly hope that the degree you have earned is the beginning of your relationship with MCAD. We take tremendous pride in the accomplishments of all of our graduates and in the connections we maintain with our former students. Every year, we honor one of our graduates with the Alumni Achievement Award, which is given in recognition of the lasting and significant contribution that this individual has made to the world of art and design. This year, we are delighted to celebrate Peter Williams, who received his BFA in Fine Arts from MCAD in 1975. He went on to earn an MFA from the Maryland Institute College of Art. A celebrated painter who is the recipient of a 2021 Guggenheim Fellowship, the 2021 Academy of Arts and Letters Purchase Prize, and the 2020 Artist Legacy Foundation Artist Award, among many, many other honors too numerous to list today. He is equally proud of his work as an educator, having spent 17 years on faculty at Wayne State University in Detroit and 15 years at the University of Delaware, where he is a senior professor in the Fine Arts Department. As described by his gallery, Luis de Jesus Los Angeles, Williams' work chronicles current and historical events, interspersing pictorial narratives with personal anecdotes and fictional characters to create vibrant paintings about the diverse experiences of Black Americans. With boldness and humor, he often tackles the darkest of subjects, including but not limited to police brutality, lynching, slavery, mass incarceration, and other realms of racial oppression. Williams uses cultural criticism to form new creation myths, retelling the history of America from fresh and cosmic perspectives. Peter Williams is the embodiment of a creative cultural leader. His work never shied away from topics that are controversial, uncomfortable, and at the same time critically important for us as a society to address. He has, on more than one occasion, acknowledged that his art is ultimately autobiographical, and perhaps it is this combination of material that is deeply personal and at the same time reflective of larger American society, that makes his work both visually engaging and likely to spark conversations and reflections for those who view it. Peter is unable to join us today, but we want to say to you, Peter, thank you for your work, both your artistic practice and in educating and preparing the next generation of artists. We are proud that you continue to be part of the MCAD community. I invite all of you attending commencement today to join me in honoring Peter with a round of applause.
This year, Ethel Morrison Vanderlip Awards will be given to graduating students who have exhibited outstanding creative ability. The pool of applicants includes December 2020 graduates. In 1923, with income from an endowment fund established by Ethel Morrison Vanderlip, MCAD established the Ethel Morrison Vanderlip Scholarship. The award was to be given to students who completed their formal training and displayed high personal character, diligence, and application in work and artistic ability of exceptional promise. An award of $2,500 will be given to one graduate from design, fine arts, media arts, and entrepreneurial studies, product design, to one graduate from the MFA program, the MA in Sustainable Design program, and the MA in Graphic and Web Design program. It is our hope that the recipients of these awards will use the scholarships for travel and study that will benefit their professional careers. The task of selecting the winners from such strong and distinctive applicants was difficult. Among the criteria considered were originality of ideas, imaginative problem solving, and skillful execution. This year's recipient of the Ethel Morrison Vanderlip Award in the MA of Sustainable Design program is Annabelle Sin. This year's recipient of the Ethel Morrison Vanderlip Award in the MA of Graphic and Web Design is Catherine Brettheim. This year's recipient of the Ethel Morrison Vanderlip Award in the MFA program is Alejandro Chin Yao Chong. This year's recipient of the Ethel Morrison Vanderlip Award in Fine Arts is Grayley Sabin. This year's recipient of the Ethel Morrison Vanderlip Award in Media Arts is Rebecca Schultz. This year's recipient of the Ethel Morrison Vanderlip Award in Design is Morgan Moen. This year's recipient of the Ethel Morrison Vanderlip Award in Entrepreneurial Studies and Product Design is Tamar Patterson. Everyone, please join me in recognizing these artists and designers.
To our graduating class, the MCAD community is going to be with you wherever you go. One thing the past months have taught us is that we can find new ways to connect, to share ideas, and to support each other. As you move forward from this ceremony, take active steps to continue to lead a richly creative life. Continue to be open to diverse points of view and ways of seeing the world. And continue to reach out and support those members of your MCAD community who need you most. Community isn't magic. It takes work to build, intention to support, and love to sustain. But if you're able to support your community in these dynamic ways, it has the potential to become magical. Thank you again to the friends and family who have gathered together at this significant moment, and many congratulations to our graduates.
Congratulations.
Congratulations. Congratulations, graduates. I'm so proud of you and the work you've all created.
All the best as you're off on your next adventure.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Congratulations, and best of luck in this next chapter.
Good luck out there.
You've really earned this.
We're so proud of you.
Congratulations!
Congratulations!
It's been really exciting to watch you grow and develop your styles over the course of our classes.
I am so lucky that I got to work with you all for my first year.
My only advice to you is to keep working, keep reading, and to stay curious about the world.
Come back and visit us as your work progresses over the years.
It has been my honor to work with you for the past few years as your professor, and it is now my joy to call you colleague.
When you're going up for your Emmy or your Oscar, feel free to give a shout out to your old professor.
Congratulations to all of you. We love you. We will always be here for you.
You succeeded through one heck of a year. As you embark on your next journeys, remember to be gentle with yourselves as you find your new creative normals.
Despite everything, you have excelled, and I can't wait to see what becomes of you.
I commend your achievement, and I applaud your resilience, patience, tolerance, creativeness, inventiveness. Did I say resilience? I know that there'll be great things coming up for you in your careers and your lives. Best to you.
Congratulations, everyone. It was such a pleasure getting to know all of you and looking at your work and watching you all grow in your last year. I'm so proud.
It is such an inspiration to witness your practices at this profound moment. I can't wait to see where they take you next.
It has been a challenging, but also a very fruitful year, and I wish you the very, very best in the future.
I'd also like to encourage you to stay in touch with the friends that you've made here at MCAD, and not just your classmates, but your faculty as well.
It's been great having you in class, and I can't wait to see what you make next.
It's been a pleasure and a privilege to be your professor.
It has been my honor to witness not only how you survived the unprecedented turmoil over the past 3 semesters, but you earned your degrees on top of all that. I'm so impressed.
I hope you achieve all the success, receive all the love, and are granted all the peace you desire as you make your way through the world.
Congratulations on your hard work, your tenacity, and your kindness.
Your dedication to your craft and support of fellow classmates will lead you to unexpected opportunities.
I wish all the best for you.
Your hard work has paid off. Keep moving forward.
I've seen you all show up and be your authentic selves for your classmates, for your studio, for all of your classes. And I'm just so impressed with everyone, and I can't wait to see what you all end up doing. So congratulations on this really special day.
It's been great working with you for the last few years, but I'm even more excited to see what you get up to next.
I am in awe, and I'm so impressed by all the hard work and determination over the past couple years.
You persevered and you flourished.
The world is changing faster than we could have ever imagined, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what you do with it.
Congratulations, seniors. I'm looking forward to seeing what magic you bring to our world.
Congratulations, May 2021 grads. You are brave artists and designers ready to go out in the world. Take care.
Congratulations, you guys. I'm actually leaving MCAD myself after this semester, so I can identify with probably what is a mixture of excitement and nervousness on your part. I wish you well, and please stay in touch with me. Good luck.
We are so proud of all of your hard work, and we know you've changed your perspective and you've changed your designs. Now go out there and change the world.